Check 1, 2, Party Monster here on the Ukrainian meeting. February 10th, I think it is, 2023. Hope everybody out there is partying and having a prosperous and abundant day. So let's see here, take a deep breath. I hope a God that I don't understand will inspire me to say things that are useful to both myself and my fellow friends here tonight and out there and this afternoon here. So I will start with the first step, and I'm going to try to talk about it in experience, strength, and hope. And I'll try to actually make it current because that actually makes it more alive for me. So step one, we are, let's see, I'm not even sure how it goes. We are powerless. I'm kind of like, it's powerless and unmanageability, powerlessness, powerless and unmanageable. So, and we, so for me to become sane and to be recovered 1 minute at a time, I cannot do it alone. And the reason being is, this is not original, but as I've been taught, and I believe it's true, you cannot fix a diseased under-earning mind with a diseased under-earning mind. So I have to use you as a community, as a conduit, to bring alive the unknown, incomprehensible energy that is found in the steps. I want to stop right there. So go ahead and translate right now.
Thank you. Ми розпочали запис саме з цього часу, і Ден знову представився, і він сказав, що я хотів би сказати те, що було б важливим для вас. Я хочу розпочати з кроку першого, і перший крок – це початок нового морального життя, який для мене є стартовим. І так, перший крок – це про безсилля і про неконтрольованість життя. Для мене це означає одне, що я вперше для себе розумію, що я не можу робити це наодинці. Я не можу впоратися з тим, з чим я маю справу один на один. Я маю використати вас як спільноту, як членів спільноти для того, щоб ви показали мені, як це відбувається, тому що, як сказано в нас в програмі, ми не можемо побачити і сконцентрувати свою увагу на захворюванні, з захворюванням в своєму розумі. І тому я використовую саме вас для того, щоб отримати ту підтримку і ту енергетичне напитування для того, щоб мати змогу з цим розпочати працювати.
All right, thank you. So the word I'm focusing on is we, which is the first word in step one. And I will say this, I never thought I would be in a phone fellowship, which is primarily how I use UA. This is actually, in 13 years that I've been in UA, this is actually the first Zoom meeting I've had in UA. I have a little bit of Zoom fatigue in life, so I kind of avoid them. But I'm glad to be able to do something today with your group. And this is something that I'm powerless over. I don't know what I'm going to enjoy or what I'm going to appreciate or what I'm going to be grateful of moment to moment. And that is like the party in life, that how would I know that I could just pick up a phone and be on a meeting once per day. I used to go, before there were phone meetings, I used to ride my bike, including the winter, to in-person meetings. And I would try to get to like, back when I was really struggling in recovery, 3 to 4 a day. But how it is so convenient with the UA fellowship and having a phone meeting. So your community and your friendship and your shares are so dear to me, because at any given moment, my thinking can get really crappy easily. And it happens sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. And before you know it, I'm walking around and I'm suffering. I'll stop there.
Я хочу нагадати, що в першому кроці появляється слово, перше слово появляється «ми». Ми використовуємо, ми починаємо використовувати саме цей прийменник. Я хочу сказати, що за своєю природою я людина, яка намагається ховатися. І я отримую силу від того, що я відвідую групи, і раніше групи були телефонні. А ще раніше я дуже вдячна тому, що в цій спільноті можна використовувати програму саме через засоби комунікації, і можна приєднатися до будь-якої зустрічі. Тому що я раніше у паралельній спільноті я брав велосипед і їхав на зустрічі, які відбувалися вживу, і зараз саме цей формат зустрічі для мене, я вважаю, самим комфортним, і тому ця спільнота для мене дуже дорога.
Okay, great. So I had a round of powerlessness unmanageability earlier this week, and I did not know that my past childhood or upbringing trauma, and I don't usually like to talk about it because I'm like, oh, here we go again. Another person's talking about their trauma, which is kind of like judgmental and not cool, but there's a monster in me. Can't have the light without the dark. And I appreciate that because I'm a punk. But anyways, the unmanageability came from a intimate relationship, let's put it that way. And if I were to just cook it down, I was feeling unmanageability. I could not sleep because my security and safety in that particular connection with that friend was threatened. And so I was in under-earning, hyper-vigilant thinking and probably creating some stories in my head, and I could not sleep. Actually, it lasted for 2 nights. It was a Sunday night and Monday night of this week, and it was not fun. And I'm very active in my life. I have a rigorous yoga practice. I bike year round in the winter. All of that takes a lot of physical endurance. And if I don't get my rest, I'm in a bad situation. So I was definitely at step 1 at that point. I'll pause.
Thank you. Я хочу сказати, що якщо ми говоримо про безсилля, то зазвичай ми звертаємося по історії про наше минуле, про наше дитинство, і я не хочу зараз бути тим спікером, який зазвичай люди говорять, о, це ще один, який буде говорити нам про свою травму. І я не хотів би цього робити, і я не хотів би бути такою людиною. І я хочу сказати, що за своїм характером я людина, яка дуже тривожиться через стосунки, через близькі стосунки. Наприклад, якщо я перебуваю з кимось у дружніх відносинах, я можу не спати другу ніч через те, що в моїй голові я можу вигадувати певні історії, які не є в реальності. Більш того, я займаюся, я практикую певні духовні практики, йогу, інші фізичні вправи, навантаження, але при цьому у мене присутня така симптоматика.
All right, well, in lieu of not using Google Translate, I'll have to get the word punk in Russian, and please put that in the chat for me if you want. So anyways, all right, so there I was at step one. One of the things that I found, a couple of things about that experience recently was I do a gratitude voice memo to another UA person in Stockholm, Sweden. And I haven't met many people in person in UA. It's mostly over the phone. But I did work. I had a work assignment. I worked for a Stockholm Swedish company out there for 2 years. And by the way, that position was the highest paid position I ever had in my life. I remember getting the offer, and I'm telling my sponsor about the offer, and it was I was being paid according to the market share in that industry, which I had not really spent that much time in. So depending on the industry, of course, what the market demands, there's a phrase like that in some of the literature. We ask for a share of the market or something, the right asking price, what we deserve. And I was like, I'm going to take this. I'm going to accept this offer. And he was like kind of blown away too. So while I was out there, I met a fellow UA person because here I am in Stockholm, and I knew of this person out there, and we met at a Swedish train station and also had Chinese food. And it was a great time. And now for the last 3 years, I've sent gratitude, a 1-minute gratitude voice memo to her. There's an 8-hour difference. And these gratitudes are very important. And why I'm bringing this up is because I'm grateful that I had this experience earlier in the week of powerlessness, which motivated me to get on my knees, which I would naturally do every day, and ask for help. And the other thing is I had like an 11-minute phone call with this person that I found what this person was doing was triggering. It could have been anybody. It wasn't just her. And somehow it was God's work more than mine that I was able to talk about what was going on for me, that I was triggered. And I did it in a lighthearted, funny, warm, compassionate way. Now, this person is also a fellow yogi, so that certainly helped, and believes and meditates as well. But I was like, I got off the FaceTime call and I'm like, what the fuck, man? I looked up and I said, I don't know what I'm looking up to. I'm like, dude, I can't believe I said all that. I don't know where those words came from. So I'll pause there.
Thank you. Я хочу розказати про свій нещодавній досвід, який мені довелося провести по кроку першому. Я отримав пропозицію від шведської компанії, і я поїхав до Стокгольму, і у мене є спонсор, і ми зустрілися саме там на вокзалі і в китайському кафе. Ми провели певний час, і я хочу сказати, що ми практикуємо регулярні зізвони на хвилину вдячності. І я також дуже вдячна цій людині за те, що вона подарувала мені стільки вдячності, стільки уваги, стільки співчуття, які я отримав, що я навіть в певний момент я просто впав на коліна. І у мене практично, я навіть не знав, звідки ці слова у мене з'явилися всередині, що я зміг висловити те і отримувати те, і відчути те, що мене переповнювало зсередини. І я був, те, що мене тригерило, Я відчув співчуття, і я подумав, що Боже, я навіть не знаю, як це я не можу повірити, що це може виходити з мене. Настільки переповнювало мене те, що я відчув. Також я з цією людиною ми практикуємо зізвон на 11 хвилин спілкування кожного дня. І таким чином я отримую таку ґрунтовну підтримку, на яку я навіть не розраховувала.
Wow, did I say all that? Okay. I
9
know.
minutes left.
How many minutes left?
9 minutes.
All right, thank you, Olga. Thanks for the time check. Okay, so moving on to step 2, let me see if I can get the actual current momentness or the present feeling. So when I get on my knees and pray and ask for help, because many of my prayers are just 2 words, thank you or help, I sometimes feel kind of funny. I'm like, I'm on my knees. What am I praying to? What is this thing about prayer? I could start getting into my head, like, what is God? It still to this day feels funny. It feels awkward to do that. I used to talk to God on my bike, and I stopped that because because I was like self-conscious. I didn't want people to see my lips moving, thinking I'm a schizophrenic. So now I do it privately in my bedroom. But the step 2 is like a suspicion, a sneaky suspicion that what I'm doing came to believe, I'm coming to believe, it doesn't mean I believe, I'm kind of coming to believe that's like that something beyond me, something else to your prayers is going to help me, is going to bring me peace of mind. And it says my internet connection is unstable, so I hope it stays on. So that's what I wanted to say about step 2. It's just like, I'll give this a shot. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'm going to move in this direction. I'll pause there.
Oh, yes, thank you. Тепер переходимо до кроку 2. Я стою на коліна і я запитую, у мене тут виникає така посмішка. Гаразд, я на колінах, а де ж моя голова? А де мій розум? Саме в цей момент. І я усвідомлюю, що в другому кроці у мене виникає така певна підозра, що це, що я говорю, те, що я роблю, і мені треба якось повірити і перевірити, що є щось, що збирається мені допомогти, що може привести мене до миру і спокою всередині.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to get to step 3 now and hopefully wrap up. So what does step 3 mean to me? Well, step 3, there was about a month ago, I started intellectualizing and overthinking about step 3, and I got into kind of a bad place because I was kind of up there, and my thinking is mixed with under-earning thinking, so I don't trust it. But I did come to a place, and I can talk all day about step 3. I mean, I like how someone once said, will in life means thinking and behavior, turning that over. But I guess what I want to say about step 3, what's working for me now, this may change tomorrow. It's just a decision. It doesn't mean I'm going to I'm going to take the actions. I'm just deciding, like on Monday, I decided I was going to go to band practice on Monday night, but I wasn't hopping on my bike and riding there yet. I was deciding earlier. So I was at step 3 earlier in the day. And step 3 is saying, I'm going to turn this week over or whatever. I don't know if I'm just talking in general, not necessarily this week. I'm going to make a decision to work this program in UA. And that means lots of things. It means showing up for meetings, sharing when I can, listening, being grateful, being kind to my fellow UA people, understanding that no one's perfect here. Even with the disagreements in UA, no one's perfect. We're all people, and and I have plenty of opinions. And in that, and then I'm just gonna work the steps. I'm gonna work the tools to the best of my ability. And that's it. That's step 3. I'm just gonna keep coming back. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And that to me is a very easy bite-sized version of step 3. I'm making a decision to keep coming back. So I'm gonna stop there and then I'll close after Raina translates.
Окей, thank you. І тепер я переходжу до кроку 3. Десь місяць по тому я розмишляв про те, що для мене крок 3. І я приходив на групи і розмірковував про це. Один із членів спільноти сказав, це про мислення і про поведінку. І для мене це постійна динаміка. Наприклад, те, що працювало для мене сьогодні, завтра може змінитися. І, наприклад, якщо я в понеділок вирішив, що я поїду кататися на велосипеді, запланував на цей тиждень, обставини можуть змінитися, і я можу передумати. І що мені важливо, це якщо я досяг 3-го кроку, мені треба прийняти рішення про те, що я буду відвідувати групи, я буду практикувати вдячність, я буду приймати інших людей, те, що вони не є перфектні, за те, що між людьми є конфлікти, за те, що в спільноті і серед інших людей є багато думок і багато ставлення до будь-якого питання. І єдине, що я маю робити, я маю працювати, і я маю повертатися знову і знову. І це все, що я хотів сказати про ці 3 кроки. Wow, we did it! Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Raina, again, once again. So I want to also say something, give myself a pat on the back, because typically my thinking is what's wrong with me. That is, step 3 does involve discipline and consistency. And I have that, I've been gifted with that talent in life, with a lot of things in life. I don't know how I got with that, probably because of lack of resources when I grew up, but it has helped me. So that's one of the things, very disciplined about meetings, about my yoga practice, about my prayer, meditation, etc. I got plenty of reasons to be here though, along with that. And the last thing I want to say, and I'm going to put my sunglasses on because I don't want to get teary-eyed here. So step 3, I can't imagine what it would be like not to have electricity or hot water or be fearful of death. I've been riding my bike, and I don't mean to, again, make light of what's going on there, but I've been riding my bike for 27 years, and I've had some close calls with a car or a truck running me over. Through the grace of God, that hasn't happened, but I can't imagine what it would be like to be doing a step 3 on whether I'm going to live or not in the next minute or hour or day. I've thought about that, and I think that's the ultimate surrender. And you people inspire me to remember that. So when I'm worried about my rug being not cleaned or something really small, you guys will inspire me. And I've thought of you before I even have been on this meeting about what's going on there. And I'll keep you in my prayers. You've inspired me, and you will continue to do so. So thank you for listening. With that, I pass.
І все, що я хочу сказати десь завершення, це те, що мені важливо бути дисциплінованим, тому що в цьому і вчора я практикую. Я практикую на зустрічах, я практикую під час медитації, я практикую під час занять йогу. А все, що мені важливо, це бути послідовним і дотримуватися певної системності і дисципліни. І я зараз одягну окуляри. Я, наприклад, я не можу уявити, звідки появляється електричество, як рухається, які механізми запускають, наприклад, мій велосипед рухатися. Але я не можу уявити дуже багато речей, як воно відбувається, навіть процеси у спільноті. Але я в цих моментах я просто здаюся. Я приймаю це з миром, і я хочу сказати, що ви, люди, які мене оточують тут у спільноті, ви надихаєте мене на те, що в будь-якому випадку від мене мало чого залежить, і я в будь-якому випадку тримаю молитву про вас. Дуже вам дякую. На цьому я зупиняюсь. Thank you so much, dear Dan. Дякую. We say дякую instead спасибо because we speak in Ukrainian. And we come to a Q&A session and we are open to your shares, my dear friends, and to your questions. Якщо у вас є запитання або бажання поділитися враженнями, будь ласка, ми відкриті для цього. We are open for this session. Then I have a question to you. May I?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I just want to ask you, what is your understanding of life sense?
I'm not sure I understand the word of what?
Life sense, sense of life.
Sense of life. Interesting question. I've never heard that phrase or put it that way, but I think I'm being asked, what is my feeling or my sense of life? Well, I think that we have a language issue here, but I think, let me just, are you asking what I think of life? Is that correct?
Well, if I speak about a human being, what is the sense of a human being life?
Oh, well, I think I know it. I think what I'll just say, and I'm not used to this question answer format, but I'm touched by to be asked that. So I really don't know. I mean, I think humans and along with plants, animals, the varieties of fruit. I was just thinking of all the different types of fruit that I eat, and the variety in life are like expressions of something huge that I don't understand in the material world. And there's a word, I think it comes from Buddhism or something, from another spiritual tradition, that talks about the variety and playfulness of life forms in human beings. And it's kind of party monster-esque, and like I can look around and I'm like, wow, what the hell is that animal doing? Like, or look at that bird, I've never seen a bird, or look at that human being, that's like so different. Or anything from humans to anything that's alive, there's so much variety and variations. It's humbling. So it just reminds me that, man, whatever energy that came up with this party, it's one frickin' party. There is no doubt about it. And I bow down to that big guy on the skateboard up there, which is just another slang, which probably makes translation more difficult, but you know what I mean. So that's my answer.
Thank you, I will translate. Thank you so much. Я запитала Дена, скажи, будь ласка, який ти вважаєш сенс людського життя? І Ден відповів, що коли він дивиться, ну, насправді він не знає, сказав спочатку відверто. Він сказав, що коли я дивлюсь на різноманітність людей, на тварин, на рослини, на все, що мене оточує, я бачу, наскільки наскільки багато всього, що мене оточує, і я не можу навіть уявити, наскільки варіативність того, що є навколо мене. І це приводить мене у відчуття того, що я смиренно схиляюсь перед світом, який навколо мене, і все, що мені приходить на ум, це те, що, ну, як людина, яка має такий нік, це все така собі легка вечірка, і все, що відбувається, воно дуже дивує і надихає тим, що воно різноманітне. Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer. I get my answer. Thank you. Questions, please? Shares? You're welcome. Because I have a list. Okay, Greg, you're welcome.
Yeah, Dan, what's your most significant spiritual experience? That'll be my question. Simple question.
I'm sorry, what was the first part of what were the words before spiritual experience?
What, sorry, here we go, turning myself up. What's your most significant spiritual experience in the 12-step program?
Oh, wow.
That'd be a simple question.
That's a great question. Thank you for asking, Breck, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I think the way I'm going to answer that is I'm just going to answer it like right. The first answer is the fact that I'm not in jail, dead, or in an insane asylum is my first answer. That is like, wow. That did though I'm not in one of those three places right now. That blows me away. And there's a lot of there's been a lot of the question was significant spiritual experience, and I feel that part of my recovery is noticing miracles. And every miracle, whether it be big or small, I kind of just talked about a big one, about the fact that I'm still alive today, and I'm in the process of recovering 1 minute at a time, and partying like a wild, crazy hyena. I would say that there are significant spiritual experiences every day, and my job is to notice them, is to notice the miracles. As I've said to a friend recently, don't quit before the miracles come. And I even have a little thing, a little sign that I'm looking at right now at this very moment, miracles are to come. And I think it's really a daily practice of saying, what is significant spiritually right now in this moment or in this day, or as I'm doing something as simple as riding my bike or just doing some chores. And those can be significant spiritual. I mean, just the fact that I'm feeling peace and joy without planning it, to me, is a spiritual significant experience. And any moment that comes is worth noting and sharing with you. So thank you for asking.
Грек задав питання, скажи, будь ласка, який у тебе самий великий духовний досвід в програмі 15 кроків? І Ден відповів, що це дуже важливе і дуже грандіозне питання. По-перше, що він сказав, я не знаходжуся в 3 речах, які зазвичай свідчать про те, що ти не в програмі: тюрма, госпіталь, смерть. Я сьогодні живий, і це моє щоденне відчуття. І я хочу сказати, що дива відбуваються кожного дня. І я я навчився в програмі, що не виходь з програми до тих пір, поки не почнуть відбуватися в твоєму житті дива. І єдине, що я хочу сказати, що великі чи маленькі, але вони, ну, насправді, саме великі – це те, що я можу робити певні маленькі справи, наприклад, їхати на велосипеді або займатися йогою. Я не планую ці речі, але як тільки я досягаю відчуття радості і спокою всередині, це і є те відчуття, до якого я намагався досягнути. І воно відбувається кожного дня. Окей, thank you. Лена, будь ласка, твоє запитання.
Всем привет, я Лена из АНЗ. Очень большая благодарность за поддержку, за спикерскую. У меня питання, як Ден робить 10-й крок?
Дякую, Лена. Hi, Dan. I'm Lena from Kharkiv, Ukraine, and she's very grateful for your support and your qualification. She asked a question, how do you practice 10 step?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer that. Thank you for asking. So I have a formal 10th step practice, and the way I do it is the way I've done it for, I think it's been, I've done it in different ways, but in UA, I've done it for, I think I'm going on 5 to 6 years. And there is an app that is a spiritual recovery app that I open up, and it will ask the 10-step questions, the quintessential questions. Was I resentful? Was I fearful? Was I dishonest? Is there something, was I afraid? Right from the big book. Is there something that I should have discussed with another person? Was I thinking about myself? Was I kind to others? And I think the last question is, something to the effect of, did I live life to the fullest today? And because it's an app, I just can answer those. Sometimes I'll just type in a few words. I typically will have always something to say in the question, is there something that I should have shared to someone? And that's kind of a little bit of a kind of a snapshot of the day. This week I was using the microphone function, so my answer was longer. And I sent it to another UA person who was originally, I've never met her, but we've been UA friends for years. And she was in California, now she's in Nevada. And she sends one back to me using the same app. So we're in different time zones, it's not too big. And then we just kind of read our answers the following day, because when she sends it, I'm usually asleep. And I send mine to hers in the early evening. One thing I will say after doing this for the years is, and I'm never clean of this, is that the first question, were we resentful, which resentment is fatal. I don't really have that answer yes too often. I used to have it a lot, and it does came up last week with another fellowship. And but I have seen improvement, and I believe that the 10th step is critical. If I don't do the 10th step, I'm going to slowly go backwards without knowing it. And it's a great way to bring spirituality into my evening before I go to sleep. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Ден подякував за те, що ти задала таке запитання. І його досвід, він використовував практику 10 кроків в кількох варіаціях. І протягом 5-6 років були різні спроби. Перший варіант в АНЗ є додаток, називається духовне, так і називається додаток духовна практика. І туди там є занесені питання 10-го кроку, і вони звучать зазвичай, як зазвичай у нас в програмі. Чи були ми злобні, корисні, егоїстичні, чи ми відчували острах, що ми зробили гарно. Ну, тобто всі запитання, які стосуються 10-го кроку. Також у мене був досвід, я практикував це з іншою людиною, у якої у нас була дуже велика різниця в часу. Ну, наприклад, я міг на ці відповіді на запитання надиктувати на мікрофон і направити це в чат. І вона також, ми ніколи з нею не бачились, але ми дуже багато років дружимо в цій спільноті в АНЗ. Вона відправляє мені відповідно свої. Іноді ми читаємо одне одному, іноді не співпадаємо, просто залишаємо ці записи один для одного. І що я можу сказати, що тобто практика 10-го кроку, і що саме важливе запитання, яке я собі залишаю, коли завершаю цей день для того, щоб спокійно дійти до сну, чи жив я сьогодні життя наповну. Це дуже важливо, щоб цим завершити саме практику 10-го кроку.